What is happening, my friends? It's Chris Cusimano on our podcast. The Real Estate Roadmap is the name of it. I got it right this time.
Yes, you did, my friend.
Good job.
This podcast, if you haven't been here before, or if you're new to our world, well, first off, welcome. Thank you for being here. It is all about us doing real estate in unique and innovative ways that they don't teach you pretty much anywhere else. And everyone on this podcast does the business in that same unique way. We like to share our knowledge on to you. Plus have some fun conversations that aren't so stuffy and so professional, a little loose and all that stuff. So with me today, we have, as always, go for it, ladies first.
Jen with Lynn and Konikoff. Thanks, guys.
And Alex Mandel.
Alex Mandel, and a special guest today. What's your name?
My name's Alicia Malamud. I'm with KW in Coral Springs.
Oh, I didn't know you were in Coral Springs.
Yes.
It's even better.
They who's the name of your TL there?
Scott Tolar.
Scott, yes, he's all on my feed all the time. He invited me to do a class there, and it just never happened. I don't know why not.
Well, you should come and do a class. Actually, it's funny because I heard of you, and then you showed up on my TikTok feed one day. It was crazy because I didn't follow you. Don't take that personal, but it was just that you showed up on my feed. You were talking about a subject that I'm very familiar with, and I was like, let me reach out to him. But I've heard your name through the circle.
Well, hopefully for good reasons.
No,
if
nothing
not,
but good.
Okay, good. Because if not, we're going to try to change that today. All right. So So Jen and Alex don't know exactly why you're here. I guess specifically, we didn't talk into details, but you just alluded to it. What we do here on the podcast, we take clips of some of the things we talk about. We put it on social media. And one such podcast, we were talking about how to treat rental clients. They're not second-rate citizens. How you should work with them to grow your business. And Alicia, she said, she messaged me, was like, hey, I would love to talk more about this because this is how she runs her business and how she grows her business. And so I'm like, you know what? That's a fascinating conversation to have. How do you grow your business with rentals? So let's go. Let's get into it. Let's just start from day one. So you grow your business with rentals. Is that your primary source of business?
Actually, no. I'll take any source of business that comes my way. I'll do everything from residential, commercial, working with investors, rentals. But how I started my business is that I was a blackjack dealer at the Guitar Hotel. We were in the process of hiring more people because we had craps and roulette that was about to come in. So we had all these new hires coming in from all different states. And I had just gotten my real estate license. So I was very active with finding homes for the new dealers. A lot of it was virtual. And then from there, that's how I basically started with my rentals and building my business. My first transaction was a rental, and I was so excited about it. I had not a clue what to do. I watched a video on a contract to lease. It took me 2.5 hours to get through it, my first one. And all of a sudden I was like, I got the deal done, and at my first commission check, it was like $350, but it wasn't even about the money. It was so about just getting it done all by myself. It was like my open door to success, I would like to say, because from there, I just took off. One thing in my office is they call me the rental queen because that's what I'm very familiar with. I've taught classes on it before. Last year, 2023, I did 36 transactions, and I think 25 of them were rentals. Wow. So I was number two in the office for closed deals. For rentals. And then the year before, I think I did 20 rentals as well. This year, just today, I got 2 new rental listings. I have 4 listings available active on the MLS as we speak. Constantly working my rental business, because here's how I feel about rentals. They become your biggest fans, your biggest supporters. They're going to shout you out to the world. They have no problems writing a Google review for you or wherever you want the review to be written, because you found them that perfect home, whether it was challenging or not, whether it was a low credit score or a high credit score. Special factors always take place when working with certain clients, and you just become their forever realtor. So if anybody's ever seen any of my social media, kind of like my title is like your favorite realtor. That's whenever I'm writing something to them, I always tell them that I'm your forever realtor and your favorite realtor. That being said, I from one rental that I did 2 years ago, I just got a $1.4 million listing. So, rentals are just an amazing way for you to build your business. And the leads that come in from the rentals are phenomenal because if you post one rental on the MLS and it gets syndicated to Zillow and Realtor.com and everywhere else, not only are you getting the action and maybe being able to transition a transaction, you can also, if that property is not for them, you could find them the property that you're looking for, that they're looking for. So really take pride in my real estate business, but working with rentals is huge for me. And because we're in such a tough market, I believe that rentals really pay the bills right now. If we're kind of in a tough situation right now, I feel, in my business. Not, I don't know how everybody else is doing, but things are a little bit slower because we're in an election year, interest rates, things are changing. I'm doing like 6 to 8 rentals a month.
Wow.
That's money in my pocket.
Yeah. And now, Alicia, you said you turned one of those rental leads into a $1.4 million deal, which is fantastic. So you're really just taking, I mean, and that's just a bonus, but you're taking these amazing people from the rental idea, right? They got the idea, they're renting, and now you're walking them through their entire real estate journey with them from beginning to end, from possibly straight out of college. I need a place I can't afford to buy. Let's get me into a rental, and you nurture, I assume, because you're their forever agent, right?
Right.
And how do you? And my question to you is, how have you been able to like capture them throughout this entire process? Like, what do you do to nurture them?
So first is my initial conversation. I find wants, their needs, what's going to make them happy. Are they looking for a first floor? Do they need vaulted ceilings? Do they have pets? Are they looking for, within a certain price range? What city are they looking for? Do they need to be close to their job? Do they need to be close to public transportation, highways? So I get all these and I factor that into my search. So I get all that information from them. I then begin the search for them. Now we have the buyer broker agreement that we need to have them sign as well. And that's another factor where people are like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't want to, this is what's going on for me right now. They're like, I don't want to pay you. And I always explain to them that, this is an agreement of you hiring me to help you with your search. But, we will definitely look for properties where they're still paying a commission. My experience right now, what's going on with the whole change from NAR settlement is more along the lines of nothing's changed. In my business, nothing has changed except for a piece of paper. That's it.
Right.
Paper
So,
conversations. That's it.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Laying it out.
And you sift through the people that might be, time wasters. They just want to go look at places. They don't actually want to make a move. They are actually like a year or two out. It's people who are ready to make a move right now.
Mhm.
Or soon as
So, Alicia, how long you been in it? I know you said briefly. How long you been in business, real estate?
So funny you ask. I started my real estate journey back in 2005, where I started studying for the real estate exam and didn't quite pass it. And then every couple years, I'd pick up the book, put it down, pick up the book, put it down until it was
I hear you.
You're like,
November.
damn it, I'm gonna just do this now.
Okay, so let me
you guys are gonna
reframe
be
that.
very surprised. Yeah, go ahead.
When did you start being full time into real estate, where it pays your bills?
So I started my real estate business full time August of 2021. I was at the Hard Rock full time, and I was also running a real estate business full time, a mother of two, and married.
So, are
Like
you
3 or
still
4
doing
jobs
any
there.
other?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, that's a lot of jobs. Are you still doing anything for income in addition to real estate, or is it just real estate now?
Actually, I am. I'm a productivity coach on the launch side. So I work with 3 other coaches from multiple offices, from the Plantation office, the Weston office, and also here in Coral Springs. And I was in coaching and I loved it so much. And I really felt like it was such an asset to my business that I started applying for the job. And I was involved in a really bad car accident. And I had to make a decision whether it was to quit the Hard Rock and go to real estate full time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I quit my job, I got a call from the office saying that they wanted to offer me the coaching position. So it's kind of funny how things just full circle.
Yeah, that's when one door
Absolutely.
closes, another one opens. But I guess I should have been more less vague on that question. And you kind of already answered. When did real estate, doesn't matter, I don't mean just sales, real estate become your full-time endeavor? It was when you, was that time? Like how many years ago was that?
Too.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is like when I started in real estate, started getting full time too, or started dabbling back in full time. It actually started before I came back over to the East Coast, and this all relates. I'll get to it in a minute. So I was living on the West Coast of Florida and bartending at night and doing the rentals for the college kids during the day. And it was mastered and honed my craft of customer service and relationship building. And you're right. What happens is in that space, in that rental space, there's so few quality real estate agents that are out there to help others. So when they find one, they tell everyone about you because there's just how do we say this without saying pompous? When you get to a certain point, you have to look at your business decision. Do I take these three listings that can generate up to 30, 40, $50,000, or do I run around with three tenants that's going to make me $1,500, right? So usually when people are in the business for a long time, the odds of those higher ticket sales increases, they fade away from the rental business. So that's why I asked how long you were in it, because you're obviously very qualified, you're very intelligent, and you're definitely a go-getter. I'm going to say that in your business now, it looks like if I had to go back and do it all over again, I would take all those rental clients, and they are in my database now, but I would have spent more time on them than to nurture them for business later, or just because you should, right? So I want to say, are you doing that? Are you adding them into command the database and doing all that stuff?
Oh, absolutely. And I do a quarterly reach out to them. Hey, how you doing? How's, Buddy your dog, or how's your job
I
going,
love
or
it.
how's
It's
your
great.
mom? Whatever relationship that I develop with them over the 30 days or 45 days of their search or their HOA approval or whatever. I'm always reaching out to them. I shoot them a text message. Also, I think generational, like if it's somebody that's a little more like in the late 30s, 40s, and 50s, I'll pick up the phone and call them. If it's anybody like under the age of like 20, they're more texty or
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Facebook, Instagram. So I'll shoot them a message via social media or through, shoot a text message. But I'm constantly reaching out to my rental clients always, because they always have somebody to give me.
Yeah,
Always.
no, they do.
And just
It's
like
a big pool. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. I have like a client of mine that I just reached out. I sold her a home a few years ago, and she had a pineapple tree in her backyard. So she gave me the first pineapple from her house, right? And I cut the top off the pineapple and I buried the pineapple. And so every so often I send her a picture of the tree. Well, that one picture of the tree led to a conversation of me now putting her property that I sold to her 2 years ago up for rent.
Yeah, it's all
Wow.
about building
Voila.
relationships.
Voila.
It's great database management there. Something I'm
Yeah.
guilty of.
Alex is not
No,
great at
for sure.
database management, but the overall
No.
arching theme of all of this is kind of how we do our business, Alex and Jen, is that instead of us, like a lot of real estate agents make a bad, horrible decision where they're just very transactional, where they'll get a transaction and then move on to the next transaction. But they already spent so much time, money, and energy getting their one client. Why not just keep leveraging that one client and turning it into raving fans so they go out and branch out that way? And that's essentially how I grew my business, but it wasn't like instantaneously. So I got to give it a kudos to you that relatively quickly in your business, you were able to find a hungry market, a starving market out there, nurture them and give them something they're not getting anywhere else, and then turn them not only into future business, but it seems like friends, right?
I've made a lot.
Yeah. So,
That's great.
Alicia, have you been getting a lot of your rental leads from referrals? I did hear you say that there's a lot of word of mouth. Have you done anything in addition to that, or is mainly your source, your pipeline filling up from that word of mouth? Because you're so awesome.
I have not paid for one lead. All of my
Wow.
leads are organic, and I take pride in that because that says a lot about who I am, my nurturing, the how I run my business, and how I take care of my clients. It's a consistent, constant referral based business that I am running.
And is it mostly from, just checking in on them, reaching out to them? Do you do any sort of like client appreciation events?
I'm working on the client appreciation events, but mostly it's just me working with them and then them just keeping in contact and having, keeping that relationship. Again, I did start, my real estate business in a big corporation because I worked at the Hard Rock, and my name just flew like wildfire. So anytime, and there's plenty of realtors that work at the Hard Rock. Trust me when I tell you this.
There's plenty of realtors everywhere.
I know that a few realtors. I know a few realtors right now that refuse to pick up a rental. Refuse to pick up a rental. I had an agent friend of mine. He got this listing. It was like for like $7,000. The rental listing was. He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. I was like, I got you. I'll help you. I'll walk you through it. It's a piece of cake. Don't worry about it. It's easy. And he closed the deal, and he was just so happy and so thankful. And, at the end of the day, especially with us and our culture, I love being able to help people. And that was a big part of why I got into the coaching program, because of rentals, mostly because everyone would always come to me and ask me rental questions in the office. And I had no problem helping other people, other agents, just grow their businesses.
That's awesome. It sounds like you run your business. And I don't know if you guys have read the book by Steve Sims, Blue Fishing. Yeah, takers.
Nope.
Super awesome.
I probably have the book. I just haven't read it yet.
Well, I do audibles, but it's a quick listen, quick read. But the concept of like being able, like you choose to do business with somebody who you want to have a beer with, and then in general, like who do you enjoy being around? Who do you want to do business with? But also to that piece of connection where, like you took a picture and you sent it to them because you thought of them. Something so quick. So Alex, I know you're not the best at this, you said. I don't know. I personally don't know, but start snapping pictures like, yo, I just thought of you. And boom.
All right.
It doesn't come off weird. I did the same thing, Alicia. I literally will be driving and be like, oh my gosh, so-and-so would like this. Snap a picture. Yo, thought of you. Something super simple, but it gets the conversation going very organically. It's not forced. It's just you thinking of a person when you see something, and that's what keeps you at the forefront.
Yeah, actually, I've done stuff like that where I had conversation. I had lunch with a buddy a few years back, and we talked about protein desserts. A couple weeks after we had lunch, I sent him one, and he said thank you. And that whole conversation and that follow up, just that one follow up of me sending him a protein dessert, ended up becoming a $1.5 million listing.
Boom! Hello.
And I never did it again, and I'm such a dumbass.
Well, you got to look at it's just human nature. So humans, there's two different types of people. There are people who give, and there's people who mooch, if you will, right? So we know when the phone rings, when certain people call us, we know we can answer it. They're either going to give us a smile, laugh, some information, or something tangible, right? They're going to give something to our lives. And then we know we have people, when they call, you send them the voicemail, and they call 2 hours later, you send them the voicemail because they want to take something from you, right? So when it comes to business per se, it's the same thing. You see so many people like saying, I want you, I'm going to give you an example real quick because I have one on the top of my head. We have, there's a vendor that we work with here that has an online portal when you need to order one of his services, right? But anyways, I needed a special request. So I sent him an email saying, hey, I'm about to do this. Can you apply this to my order? He said, absolutely, no problem whatsoever. Jen, who's over there? Who are you talking to? Is that your kid?
My kid literally just walked in. He was about to bust through this. I'm like, no.
Jen looked like her eyes panicked, and she was trying to smile through it at the same time. It was distracting.
I have zero poker face. I think I've said it 100 times.
No, yeah.
You can read what's happening all up in this.
I knew your smiling was not matching your eyes. Anyways, so what happened was I ended up ordering that thing through the portal, and then he didn't do the thing he said he was going to do in the email. So then I wrote him hey, did you get a chance to do it? He goes, no, we missed it. And that was it. And I wrote back, okay, so does that mean we missed it, we're going back? Does that mean we missed it and tough shit? What does that mean? So I know what to do. And he's like, yeah, that pretty much means you got to take care of it because it costs us money to go back. And but do you see that how because he goes, there is a note section in the portal that you could have filled out. I'm like, yeah, but I sent you an email beforehand. And he was like, yeah, you still should have filled out the notes. But people make a big problem. That's not uncommon in this world. Even with real estate agents, like they expect other people to accommodate their special systems and needs when they are the one relying on the business of that person, right? So it's a whole mooching versus giving mentality. So when people come across people who are giving to their lives, and not just business wise, but just giving to their lives, they want to interact with them because they don't feel like you're mooching them for a sale. And that was my point, is like when Jen takes a photo, when Alex takes a photo of something, and Alicia cuts off a pineapple and takes pictures of a tree, you're not doing that, maybe not directly for that sale at that moment. You're doing it because it makes you giggle inside a little bit. It makes you laugh and it makes you connect. And when they see, if you always texted them, "Hey, give me a deal, who do you know?" They're yeah, that's it. But if everything that comes from you is something of value, whatever that value is, a laugh or a piece of information or anything, they're gonna be excited when they see your name. You know?
I have a past client that's like that. She purchased a home from me in like 2017, and then once a month for about a year, she would call me to see if I had any clients for her financial planning business, and then I stopped answering. And she called me over the weekend, and I'm like, oh, I'm busy. How can I help?
Yeah, we all have those that when we were seeking out for our business, all started trying to reach out to us relentlessly and a little obnoxiously.
It's just the approach, right? It's the approach. You don't want to leave that sour taste versus, like you said, you have somebody calling you to give and makes you smile, giggle, and there's people that just suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
I have one title company that I work with that they send me like gifts on like holidays, or they see something on my Facebook and they send me something that had to do with that. They send a handwritten note to me, my daughter, and my wife. And because I send them business, but they keep the relationship going that way. Mm-hmm. And there's other title companies that are trying to earn my business, and they ask me why I am loyal to that title company. It's because they treat me more than just a title fee. You know what I mean? Or my clients.
Well,
and they say, "Oh, they send you gifts." It's like, it's not the gifts per se.
It's not the gifts.
It's the
treatment experience.
It's treatment, exactly. Yeah.
Can I tell you guys a funny story?
That's why you're here.
Okay, so my husband and I, we set up this entire trip. We took 2 weeks off because it's life by design, right? So he has to time in to take his time off. I actually don't. I do bring my laptop. I'm a little guilty of that. I'll take an hour in the morning while everyone is asleep. I'll get my work done and really just try and enjoy my trip. So we did a 5-day Virgin cruise, and then after that we drove up to Crystal River and we swam with the manatees, and then we wanted to go somewhere else, so we drove 2 days out to Orlando. So we go to this hotel, and just so happens they're having a mortgage convention there. Right. And he sees like my radar is going all over the place. It's like, I know what you want to do. He goes, I'll go to the pool with Noah and you can go talk to and schmooze whoever you want. I was like, no, I'm on vacation. So the next morning I wake up, I go to walk the dog. And I sit down because everyone's sleeping upstairs. And there was a guy who was a mortgage lender. His wife works for KW. Just so happened his wife works for KW. She's also a coach up in the Orlando area. And gave me his number. He's a mortgage lender. He's like, if you with some great programs, just giving me the whole spiel. So I go upstairs. I gave him my number. He gave me his information. We go to the pool. We come back. There's a knock on the door. And all of a sudden, it's room service with a bottle of champagne and chocolate-covered strawberries. Say, hope you enjoy your trip. Well, my husband, on the other hand, now we talked about gifts and stuff, right? This guy is married, and I had to explain to my husband. I said, this is what they do. He's trying to gain my business. Heard kind of mixed reviews on this, with the champagne and chocolate covered strawberries being sent up to the room. Is that politically correct? Should he have just maybe, sent lunch for the entire family?
He wouldn't have sent that to me, Alex. Just so you know.
I mean, I wouldn't have minded it. I love chocolate strawberries.
I could see Alex in the room like,
I tell my wife, Michelle, put this in my mouth.
I texted him because I said thank you. Yeah, I did say thank you. Never heard from him again. And my husband's like, okay, all right.
He saw you guys checking out the hotel.
I was like 65 years old. I was really pleading my case here. I was like, he, his wife works for KW. He's a mortgage lender. He's just trying to get my business. He's being
he's trying to get some business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
So
right kind of business.
He was trying to get on that virgin.
But you know what's interesting about what you said is that if I see a mortgage convention, I don't want them to know I'm a realtor. I'm
Yeah.
running. I'm like, I can't
like a
drink that much
walking
coffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to go out to
The-
coffee?
The
You want to
coffee
get coffee?
tech.
You want to hear about why I'm so much better than everyone else?
Just to get to know each other, you know.
You
I
know,
think
I'm
it's
not trying to
because
take business from the other lender. I'm just trying to see what we can offer each other.
I have
Same
this
script over and over
obsession
again.
with my career. Like I'm obsessed with my career. That's why I'm
You should be.
constantly talking about real estate. It could be from the gynecologist to my son's basketball coach. Like it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. I will talk to the sky about real estate.
That's an
Because
interesting
Yeah.
example you
What's
use.
that? What's that?
So
How's that
that's
conversation
happened?
start?
So you're in the stirrups and you're like, hey, by the way,
I sell real estate.
Ask me about the market.
ask me about this. Make this not odd at all. Do you want to talk about the rates?
Hey, I mean, it takes away the attention, right?
Oh my god, that's
I'm gonna
wild.
have to try that.
So I do have a small sense of humor in my
No,
personality. Can you tell?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
You're in
If
the-
you were
you're-
dead serious and you were in the stirrups and you're like, do you want to know about real estate? That would be a little awkward.
I try to make light of every situation.
yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
me too. Life is too serious.
Too short, too serious. I can't. I need to have fun. I live in my bubble. I try not to let the outer world distract me. Do my thing, love my family, wake up, be happy, run my business, make people smile. It's just what I do.
But you know, your gyno needs a house too.
Absolutely. And I would love to sell him that house. I mean, he's seen enough of me.
You got to show them what's up.
For the
Like,
last 25 years.
wow.
Wow, you're loyal. You are
Yeah.
loyal.
Yeah, good for
And if
you.
I like you, I like you. That's how it works. Just like
That's
me,
loyalty.
your favorite realtor, right? You know, it's just
Your
how it
favorite
works.
guy now.
Speaking of loyalty, we're always talking about ways on how do we enhance our seller's experience with loyalty. And Alex shared something with me that he asked me for my opinion. And Alicia, you let me know what you think about this. And of course, Jen, you have a sticker that you use on properties
No,
well, how's it work?
that was actually a cold text message of somebody, a marketing guy. I don't use it. He's trying to get me to buy them.
Well, what is it?
It's like a sticker, probably the size of my palm, that has my face on it, and it says, I guess it has like one of those NFC tags on it, where you tap it and you can put whatever information you want on it. And the guy has been like blowing me up. He left me a voicemail. He sent me like 3 text messages of like with pictures of different areas where I could stick it. So one of the pictures that he used was he put it on the door, and my thought process was it's actually not a bad idea if you're in an HOA where you can't have for sale signs in the front yard, or like at an open house to get some quick information.
You know,
How about this? I've
What's
seen
the
somebody
sticker,
put a
like-
sticker garage after they've closed on the house with their information. You know how everyone usually puts stickers
Yeah.
like on the interior of the garage itself, like next to the service. It's the cutest thing because she's a real brand. She's in the Fort Lauderdale office. Her name is Tara Carter.
oh, I know Tara.
And Tara does the coolest thing. She's got great marketing, and that's one of the things that she does. She puts a little sticker like "Don't forget me," kind of and she puts it in the garage.
Yeah, that's not a bad play. Like you see those on like hot water heaters and ACs, like service by.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's not a bad play at all. Maybe we should consider doing stuff like that. However, I do see a lot of marketing that could be very self-serving, So I always try to look at it like, is this really serving myself more than them? So things like I struggle with that. I don't know what is the right and wrong answer on that. Like, what are you putting a sticker on the garage be more for my benefit or theirs? Or if on that sticker maybe there was a list of phone numbers in case something breaks, like if your garage door breaks, your hot water heater breaks or something like that, something that actually has some tangible value on there where it's not all about, hey, look at me every time you go in your garage. You know what I mean? That's what I'm always trying to think about. How does it benefit them?
Right.
Good point, Alex. I'm stuck on your sticker thing though.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Guys.
What? How big? Okay, is this big? Is it a picture of you like, ooh, sell this?
No, hold on. Let me just show it. Let me find it. Again, I don't have this sticker. This guy has been like cold calling, texting
His
me.
marketing tactics are totally working because you were literally talking about this right now on a podcast.
So it's just a sticker, and you can tap it and get your info.
Yeah, I guess.
Would it work? I mean, how many people are going to walk by doors and really do it?
That's what I mean. Like,
They have to be close enough to the door, and that's creepster status if you don't have a.
because it says listing by Alex Mendel.
No, the one thing that I've been seeing a lot on for sale signs is definitely the QR codes.
Yeah, as I say, people aren't going to scan their phone. I mean, if they want information, they won't even know what to do with that. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a QR code, people would use that because they're familiar with it at this point, right, Alicia?
Yeah.
That's where you're going?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a giant QR code on mine, so people don't even have to get out of the car.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the bigger question is, does this circumvent not having a for sale sign doing that? Are people really walking by who are interested in the property? Or again, is this a self-serving marketing play to fluff up your business? And would your sellers appreciate you leveraging their house to build your business? You always have to go back. How does this not only help me, but serve my client?
Okay, well then how about this? How about all the realtors that are doing all these luxury videos right now, right? What are we servicing? Are we servicing the client or are we servicing ourselves? Well, it's both, right? Because we're putting ourselves out there. You know, those videos cost a lot of money. We're taking the time, the money, the effort to make these videos perfect so that this way we can not only sell the property, but also, you know, show the client that we are marketing to the fullest, marketing
a
like
value.
Crazy. Yeah, absolutely.
And you have the experience to even be able to get inside those houses. You know?
Or being able to get up in front of a camera and say, hey, I'm Alicia, check out my new listing. Not a lot of agents I have to say, they don't have a lot of like the courage. So I've dealt with lots of agents that just cannot get in front of the camera. You know, and so I'm trying to encourage or teach other agents, like if you can't get in front of the camera physically, then what you need to do voiceovers, start keeping current matters on your social media platforms, like get yourself busy and out there without your face being in the camera if you feel that that's something that you cannot do. Not everybody has that luxury of being able to be that confident in front of a camera.
Alicia, I'm going to save you a lot of time in that effort. Just stop trying because I've been doing this for years on the video content side of the game and trying to help other people. Some people instantly do it, and the ones that I have to nudge never do, no matter how much.
I teach a class locally in our local office, as well as I guest speak, I'd say once a month, every other month in Ignite, our training. And it's on how to find content, script it, record it, edit, and post it all in 10 minutes. And
how many people show up?
So I get it. Okay, so I've probably done it 4 or 5 times on Ignite, 80 people each time in Ignite, because I think it's all of Florida. Pretty sure, I don't know. And then live, there's probably anywhere between 5 and 10. So I would say hundreds of people have been in my class. And at the end of it, I have a call to action. Everybody take everything that I just taught you. And before you go to bed tonight, even right now after this class, do exactly what I taught you. It'll take you no more than 25 minutes. And before yesterday, because I always tell the classes now that only 3 people have done it.
Yep.
Out of hundreds of people. Yesterday, I had 5 people that did it. So I'm very proud of that. Yes.
So the people in the class that are going to do it are the ones who are actually doing it as you're teaching it. Like Jen's good at this too. When we're talking to any of our trainings that we do, by the way, we do trainings for Coaching by Koozie client members at noon. And it's awesome. Anyways, well, as I'm teaching and presenting something, Jen's always working on that. But that's so few people. But those are the ones who are doing it. You're not going to get people to do it after class. The reason you got to say, a lot of reasons why people go to classes, and I hate to say this, but it's true, because it gives them something to do, and they have a good sense of community, that they're around other agents and making them feel good being around other people. Yeah, they didn't actually go there with the intention to like do something. I know it sounds horrible, but it's true.
A small percentage. I will say although I am a social butterfly, if I'm going to take the time to get out of my home office to go into the office for a training, that means I really want that stuff.
Speaking of which, Alex and I got out of it. We went to a training today.
I know. I see Alex with his pop color.
Yeah, with this, he got his hamburger meat hanging out of his shirt and everything. You got to.
Those are my Jew curls. Thank you very much.
Your jurls.
Yeah. Your jurl. Very,
I
very
don't do the
preoccupied right
passes
now.
down.
They come out
I'm
of your
not that
shirt
kind of Joe.
instead.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, we did go to a class today on how team building and building a team.
So the first time I took that class was actually with Jackie and Boynton, probably 4 years ago, and that was right when Jackie and I were separating because we had a team together, and we were separating. And she was like, "Yeah, if you're gonna start a new team, maybe you should take on class." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I did, and it was one of the many motivating factors for me to start a team again. And one of the biggest lessons on all of that is that the point of leverage, where you're leveraging people to help you get better, and that doesn't mean running a team. That means either being on a team where someone else can help you leverage stuff, or be a team leader, which is a lot harder, in my opinion, by leveraging other people. I did write out some notes on that because I do want to talk about the value of the team, because in that class, and by the way, I have to run in about 8 minutes to get my kid at the bus stop, and I'll be right back. You guys can do this without me. I'll be right back. It's literally right there. I keep looking at the time. Anyways,
I have a hard stop at 4. I gotta pick up my.
oh, we're done way before 4. But I
I
thought
just
I
don't want to
go
be here
ahead.
much longer. I just don't want to be here much longer. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Your ADD's kicking in.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I thought this was actually extremely important because it's not covered in this class, and I was like getting the itches, like I want to say.
I know. I was sitting behind you, and I could see you trying to bite your hand from
Not to talk.
not to talk, and I kept saying, "Chris, shut up."
I know he was whispering in my ear, because I have a tendency, at least you don't know this, of taking over classes, and I try not to. And I know it's an issue. I know it, but some things just need to be said, and they don't say them.
So
Anyways,
what was it?
but she missed it. Everyone was struggling trying to convey the value of a team to their members. And I'm like, and they're not saying the right freaking things. Like, what people are missing. And I wrote down these 4 things on my book, and I made sure I put in my notes here,
Yeah,
so I won't forget. It's the same thing with whatever you're selling. It's sellers, likelihood of achievement. The reason why people join a team is because they want to have the likelihood of achieving it. And if there was someone who's done things and put things in place for them, and who has achieved what they want to achieve, it increases their perception or their feeling that they will achieve the same thing because they're with other people who are doing it. And I'm like, don't you see how valuable that is to people's mental health? Number 2, it reduces their stress load. So if you could take a lot of their unknowns off of their plate, right? Like, should I do this? Should I do this? How should my day be? How should I? And now you're like, no, this is exactly what you should do, step by step. This is this is the system you need to follow. Those stressors are gone because now they don't have to think about it, and they don't have to worry about making mistakes or what if they made the wrong decision. They can always put it on the team leader.
I actually have a buddy who joined the CARP group with Tabitha. He's been in real estate for about 15 years, and as a solo agent. But now he's on a team on a 50-50 split because he got rid of about 90% of the things he needs to do in
That's
real
it.
estate to have a business.
Well, they kept on talking about money, and value is a lot more than just money. But sorry, Jen, what were you saying?
Well, I was a single agent before joining your team, and I mean, at the end of the day, our team.
Oh.
So the reduced stress, just putting a listing in on the MLS, that alone would take me a hot minute. I have somebody right,
and now you have that free time to do other things that you enjoy doing.
Absolutely. Open houses. If I can leverage our teammates and our teammates leverage me for open houses, I absolutely do. I am a very active parent, so I hate missing things, but I also have to keep my clients at the forefront, of course, of what they need. Their schedule and my schedule should not conflict. So they want open houses. You got it, baby.
I leverage your team too. Walton just did an open house for me a couple weeks ago.
But the agents on our team, they don't have to do the flyers. They don't have to do the sign-in sheets. They don't have to worry about if they have open house signs. Like, their admins are supposed to coordinate all of that stuff. The only thing I do ask the agents to do is be educated on the open house, and B, well, 2, return the signs. But 3, the thing I actually ask them to do is on Facebook, just Facebook events and Google Business Profile, make an event of your open house, right? It's very easy, but everything else is done for you. So you don't have to worry about remembering that, or remember that it's in the MLS so people know, it's all there for you. I got to say the last 2 real quick, and I got to run and get my kid from the bus stop. And you guys can, I'm sure you don't need me much longer. I'll be back. Chit chat. You're probably like, good, he's gone. Number 3, be eliminate risk, right? So here, what do I mean by that? So there's a lot of things. So you don't when it comes to a team, you don't have to worry about paying salary or marketing. You don't have to come out of that every month out of, I guess, my pocket, even though it's the team account. That money goes out regardless of how many sales come in. So let's say Jen here is on the team and she does no sales for 3 months. She doesn't have to worry about paying all the salaries or the postage or the office dues or all those other things. She can just say, fuck it, I'm gone for 90 days and that's it. I can't do that because if sales don't come in, guess who has to generate income? There is no there that risk and that stress is now off of people's plates and it's on the team member leader forever. And the only way it goes away is if we quit the business. For agents, they can just go away for a month or two and take a break. So taking away those risks and those stressors are huge. And the last thing before I run out, and then I'll come, hopefully, yeah, I'll be back in a minute, is a big, and I think this is the biggest one. It took me 20 years almost to figure this game out. Know how many books I have a bunch of books here now. How many books I've read, classes I've taken, money I spent. All like you go into Alex's office right now, his office is full of tchotchkes he doesn't need. But I was that way too, right? Like he does. He does tons of like marketing stuff. Like you don't need any of this shit. But anyways, but I did all like learning exactly what works, what doesn't work, what objections you need to know, how to handle them, all that stuff, like what steps that you need to take, all that. And I put it all together on a training program that they get for free, meaning that they can now save 10 to 15 years of trying to learn it themselves and all that money. Those four things are the why you join a solid team. And they weren't talking about it in the class, and it made me so angry. Anyways, that's my rant.
So I will definitely say I'm a single agent, so I haven't been part of a team, and my business is definitely growing, and I like Monday through Sunday, all of last week. It was just nonstop. I mean, some of the days I was working from like 7 in the morning until like 11 o'clock at night, and that's the phone calls, the listings.
You don't need to do that. You can join a team, Alicia.
I know.
All right, I'll be right back. Keep talking.
So
It's not just you, Alicia. This guy's been trying to recruit me since I met him.
he wouldn't be a good agent if he didn't, right?
That's true. Yes.
So yeah, I've been approached to join a few teams before, and I don't know. I'm more of a control freak, so I think that's why I haven't given in to the team. I need to be in control of everything. I'll give you a perfect example. My first year of real estate, I never hired a transaction coordinator. I was out of my mind.
That was my next question. Have you done that yet?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe that I didn't do this. And then my second year, my business doubled because I hired, there was never a time where I didn't have a transaction coordinator. As a matter of fact, I'll hire my transaction coordinator to do other things for me. Like, oh my God, I'm out on the road. Can you send a contract to this person for me? If it's not even a contract like that he's working on. And he's really good. We've been doing this we've been working together for years. So I bring him a lot of business. So he doesn't mind doing a little extra for me now and then. So.
Yeah, my breaking point to hiring a transaction coordinator was I had 5 transaction sales that I had to upload for compliance. I'm like, all right, I'm never doing this ever again. So that was my breaking point.
But not a lot of brokerages have what we have at KW.
Right.
We have command, we have an entire compliance team. So we have check boxes to make sure that we're within our guidelines. So a TC definitely is like
game changer.
Absolute game changer when it comes to it.
Game changer. Right? I love you, Trevor.
Love her, Jamie. Love you, Jamie.
I love my Chantel.
We would not, we literally, I would drown without them. And it's amazing. But again, it's leveraging that, even though you're not, either one of you aren't a part of a quote unquote team, you are a, you're a single agent or a group, I think.
It's just a logo at this point. One day.
Okay, well, you're a single agent, but you do have a team. Your TC is a part of your team.
Absolutely.
Right?
Your TC, your title, your mortgage lender,
your photo guy,
your plumber, your electrician, your roofer. You got tons of people on your team.
Sure, I could take photos, I could take videos, but it wouldn't be as good as if I would hire it out and leverage it out.
Absolutely. With the coaching program, we actually are not just KW only. We are with all, we have built our business outside of KW. So we coach any brokerage.
Okay.
right? We have a virtual assistant that helps us with our business as well, and she does all of our contracts for us. She does all of our, like, when our agents get, like, first listing, first closing, capped. She'll make all our marketing flyers to send it out and post it. She sends out all the emails to our clients. She anything that we need her to do. And we just had a conversation about how else can we leverage her. And I'm getting her to go into my command and make sure I got a healthy database, because
Yeah.
mama needs a little help with that every now and then.
I am also mama.
Yeah. No, I have a virtual assistant too. I have a cyberbacker. And the moment I got her, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
how did
Good for
I
you.
do life without her?
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to find ways to leverage, right? And she's literally going through my command. Where are my holes? Fill in my holes, please. It's just, again, that piece of leverage, because leveraging these amazing people within our team allows us to keep growing, not just as agents, but as people, because the more we experience, the more we do see and connect with people, we are just better as a whole.
Absolutely.
Taking time for that little vacation. I mean, mental health is a serious a serious component to the whole package, and if we don't take time to do that, it's detrimental to our business. So leveraging people is, in a healthy way, is fantastic.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, where's our
Well, where's his 1 minute? Because I know I talked for at least a minute.
yeah.
So, Alicia, you're in Coral Springs.
Mm-hmm.
We're out of Boca. We're not that far.
No, not at all.
We are not that far.
Have you always been with
So when I first got my license, I was with another brokerage. Can I say the brokerage name?
Whatever you want.
Okay, it was with the EXP.
Ah, maybe that's how I know you.
And I will say that I was a cartoon character in a virtual world, and I had no idea how to navigate to get to campus, because you have to hop in a boat and go to a thing and do this and do that.
I was there for 4 years. I got it. I know. Before
Oh,
I came to KW.
so I ended up joining a team, right? It was a team out of Weston. It was a brick and mortar. When I went through 5 channels, I had to do a disc profile, I had to do a video of myself, I had to do a biography, I had to do a resume, I had to do all this stuff. I'm a brand new agent. I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I got on the team, and they started telling me, well, you're a buyer's agent. I'm like, okay, you can't, you can't do rentals. They were telling me all these limitations, and
I hate
not
that.
one for limitations. You cannot tell me what I cannot do. You can only tell me what I can do. That's the difference. And I remember they gave us like all these Zillow leads, and I would always pick up the phone. They were, sorry, another agent got your call. I'm like, what is going on here? I literally would have the phone in my hand, and I couldn't understand why I wasn't grabbing these calls. So one day we were on like a Zillow call, and I said, how come, I have a question. How come, like, when I go to pick up the phone, like, I literally, it's 2 seconds in. They're like, well, and they were saying that at the time, because I was just getting my feet wet. They're like, well, a part-time agent will never be as successful as a full-time agent. The next day, I came to KW. It was around the corner from my house, and I left at EXP.
I thought, Chris, you just walked directly behind me. The way you just walked in, I got so scared.
Who, me?
Yeah, because like my brain didn't process that you were walking in, and I thought you were right behind me, and that was the most terrifying thing. I think I peed a little bit.
Well, I am pale as a ghost.
I was going to ask Alicia too, though. So that's probably why you had such a negative taste of like a team. Not all teams are definitely made equal.
No, I agree.
That sounds like a fucking nightmare. At least with our team, I find it to be very unique in the sense where we get to brand ourselves. It's not just like Chris's name posted everywhere. I really appreciate that, because I do like to control things. And I like to control the brand that goes out there. I'm very unique to, I am me, unapologetically. And I like people to know who I am, because that's who, I'm not going to apologize for who I am. I'm weird, but I'm freaking awesome all at the same time. So I appreciate being able to brand the self versus me having somebody else's sticker everywhere. That's
yeah. That was interesting in the class today. Jackie was talking about on her marketing material for her team. It's just her everywhere, like her, because people can relate more to her than the whole team. And I'm like, I don't know how that plays out, because if the biggest way to grow your business, the easiest way is by leveraging goodwill, word of mouth, track record with your people. Jen's client, Johnny, who doesn't know me, is not going to start pushing my stuff and hope it trickles down to Jen. They're going to push Jen. So why would I sit here and not want her to be who she is, to grow her brand, her business of who she is? The only difference, the only thing it is that we share the same logo and the same tagline and the same admin, really, right? And I take away all of her risk and all of her stress and all that stuff, and I put it on me.
I appreciate that. My gray hairs appreciate that.
Well, I guess there's different business models. You found one that works for you guys, and Jackie found one that felt
That's true
for her. When you go to the Apple Store, you're not going there to ask for Tim Cook, the CEO. No.
I think Chris is frozen.
No, I'm listening.
I think it's just
I'm processing what he's saying, because the analogy that I use often is the restaurant analogy, because I was from the restaurant business. I always say I'm the owner of the restaurant, if you will, and the agents that I work with, they are, I guess you could say, servers or bartenders, because they're all serving their clients at their different tables. I don't know who's at Jen's table 42 and their specific needs and details. However, I know that the accountant, the marketer, the management, and the expo and all that are all servicing her on the back end to make sure she's servicing her clients. That's
so.
the best analogy I use.
Let me jump off that. The Four Seasons, what they do is they know everything about everybody that's checking in, and they have a whole database. So when you're walking through the Four Seasons, everybody already knows who you are.
I know, yeah.
So when you're walking, even the person that's changing the trash cans, they're like, "Hey, Mr. Cusimano, how are you today?"
How do you know that? Like, I know that, but how
What?
do you know that?
Why are you so surprised that I know that? Well, I can't afford the Four Seasons? No,
I'm just saying.
No, my wife, she works she's a digital marketing manager for the Boca Resort, the Boca Raton. So she knows a lot about, hospitality and all that.
Okay, so to be fair,
as well.
How do you know that, Chris?
I'm trying to answer you, sir. Well, the way I know it is I was actually invited to an event at the Boca Resort, and it wasn't Four Seasons, but I guess they're related. See, I don't know. I'm not on this.
No, they're not. It's privately owned, but go on.
Okay, but I mean, I remember that had a lifelong impression on me about service, because growing up, the places we would stay at, if it wasn't a campground in a tent, was like the Hojo and stuff like that. Like the cheapest of cheap, right? Where there's like blood on the shower curtain and shit. But then when I went to these things, and I went to this very nice thing, I don't know when it was. I think it might have been for a wedding or something, and I was young too. I wasn't like. I was like a busboy, and they're like, "Hi, Mr. Cusimano, how are you today?" I'm like, "What?" I was caught off guard, and I learned in that moment. It was one of those moments I never forgot. It's like there's a whole different world out here,
and I never want to go back.
Yeah, kinda. But also, if you ever get in business, you can be the Hojo, a 1% listing agent, or you can be the Boca Resort, the Homes by Kuzi team, or Alex Mandel team, or Alicia on the Homes by Kuzi team. So you can be one of those things.
Before we switch to topics, a book you should read and tell me about is Unreasonable Hospitality. Have you heard of that?
Nope. No. But I'm interested.
The tagline is "The remarkable power of giving people more than they expect." And a lot of people in the hospitality business, they read it, but they also read it in the real estate industry.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, so Chris, let me know how that goes.
Oh, you want me to clip note it for you?
I'll read it.
Yeah.
I have some.
I'll get an Audible. I'll
Audible credits. I'm down for that.
You guys should also read by. Well, no, it's not that one. Hold on.
I actually have this book at home.
Do you?
Yeah, because my wife read it.
That's a good. Exactly what to say for real estate agents.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, that's a good one. I read it once a year.
Yeah, Jeff reads it once a year.
Before we wrap it up, I have two experiences I do want to talk about when it comes to customer service or lack thereof. And I think this is a good conversation to have, because Alicia built her rental business and her future business off of spoiling and rental clients in ways that no one else does, yet in ways that they deserve. And we're talking about all service here. But there's two things that happened to me, and I took note of them because I'm like, ooh, I want to talk about that. Where it's the opposite of doing the right thing. So I'm in negotiations with a contract of a listing of mine. Anyways, we're going back and forth about the title thing. Who picks title? And they picked the Miami-Dade provisional. If you don't know what that is, basically the Florida contracts, they have three different ways you can choose title. Miami-Dade provisional is one of two typical selections that people select. However, it is at the detriment of the seller and it benefits the buyer. And the other option two is what I like to use when I represent sellers in Broward County, because sellers get to pick title. I'm sorry, the buyers pick title and the buyers pay title policy and surveys. Anyways, we can have a whole thing on that. He chose the one Miami-Dade, and I didn't like that, and I went back and we switched it to this other thing. Anyways, what happened was he goes, no, they're not going to do it because my client did research and found out that the Miami-Dade provisional is the more normal one. And I was like, hold on, what do you mean your client did research? He goes, yeah. He goes, I told him what you said, how you like this one, and he said that he called a bunch of other title companies and told him that no, it's this one. I'm like, hold on. First off, you're saying your client did that work, not you? And he was like, yeah. And then second, did he have any documentation of what he said? He goes, no. So you're just going on what he just told you? Yeah. And I was just like, okay, I don't mean any disrespect here, but A, you should be doing that work, right? And B, if you just Google my name, and I don't mean this in any like pompous way, but you can see how many transactions I do and done. And I can tell you my experiences don't align with what your client told you about the job you should be doing. And it was just like an awkward silence. Yeah, it was. And he was just like, anyways, long story short, it was adjusted to be the proper thing. But my point is, like, how do you send your client to do your job and expect to get paid for it? Like, it's just
I have an
my
answer
mind.
to that. I
Oh,
have
what
a
is? Tell
huge
me. What is that?
well, so that a lot of agents are just not good agents.
No,
That's the bottom line, and
it's
they're
that
not
simple.
willing.
It's that simple, Chris.
That's it. They're not willing to go that extra mile to find out the information, like a parking space. What number is it? Or
Hmm.
what? I went on a showing yesterday. The guy said, "Oh no, there's no credit score requirement." Oh, that's great. I said, "Why don't we walk over to the HOA right now and see if there is one? Because my client is a specific number." They would turn around and they tell us it's 700 minimum for everybody that lives in the house, and the agent looked at me and goes, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Like, why are you not prepared? This is a
I love it.
$400,000 listing. You are going to make how much commission and you are not prepared?
That
Why?
is not uncommon, unfortunately. The good thing, our team, we have a questionnaire spreadsheet that our admin goes out and seeks those answers to of all the things you need, so those situations don't come up, and they're all in our listing too. So when an agent calls us asking how old the roof is, A, it's in the listing, but B, even if it wasn't, you know what's annoying about that? You can just check the permits online yourself.
So I can't wait to do a transaction with either you or your team because we need more agents that are more prepared, and that's really what it boils down to.
You always
Stop.
know. Oh,
Just
sorry.
that's
Go
okay.
ahead.
No,
No,
I'm just
you always know the difference between the two types of agents, right? You know when you're working with an agent that understands the process, understands the professionalism, the ethics, the core value of what we do to make sure that we're representing our clients from beginning to end as true as possible, whereas you have the opposite.
So I had an agent the other day. This is a rental that I was closing on, and she listed it for sale and for rent, but forgot to ask the client if he was up to date with his maintenance. Guess what happened? The client was 6 months behind, and my client got denied
Yeah.
because of your incompetence. And then she says to me, "Well, what do you want me to do?" I said, "I'm sorry. I'm not the listing agent. You are." So when I called her to say, "Is your client going to pay the HOA so that this way we can move forward?" Because that was the only thing that was delaying the rental. She goes, "Yeah, I'll get to it." A week later, she's like, "Oh, we finally got around to it." You finally got around to it? My client needs a place to live. Like,
That's it.
you're violating this contract right now. She's like, "Well, I did what you told me to do." You didn't do what I told you. It is not my listing.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
I
How
cannot
far
wait.
south on 95 were they? Just real quick question.
Let's just say they're in the Davie area, and let's just say I cannot wait to be on the list side when she calls me and say, "Hi, can I see your listing today?"
People always forget about that.
Yeah, they always
But
forget that you might one day cross paths again.
Mhm.
You want
You
to
know,
talk about? I'm from Jersey,
agents
so
will. Yeah,
the
you won't
energy
forget.
level gets fire. So if you get me on a certain level and you rub me the wrong way, be as professional as I can be, but trust me when I tell you, the Jersey will just fire out in every single direction.
Out of every hole, your gynecologist knows about it.
Every single one of them.
All right, I have one more thing to talk about. We're not because we're out of time, and there's no better way to end a podcast with talking about things coming out of those areas. So, with that said, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you and having you on, Alicia. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're
You're
amazing.
welcome. I'd love to
Thank
be
you
on
so
it
much.
again.
That was
Invite
great.
me. I would love to sit in.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, in the meantime, how do people find you?
I'm Ali underscore sells homes on Instagram. I'm Alicia Torres on Facebook, and I'm also Alicia Malamud Realtor on Facebook. I have 2 pages. If you ask my husband, he'll say, "Why is your name not Torres on everything?" That's another discussion we can
Because
go
you're planning for
into.
the future.
So, but yeah, that's how you can find me. Can I say my phone number?
Yes, please do.
So if anybody ever has any questions that Chris or Jen or Alex can't answer for you and it has something to do with rentals or anything for that matter, and you just want to pick my brain, my phone number is 305-770-8681. And my email address is Alicia Malamud at kw.com.
You guys can call Alicia with all of your rental questions. Jen and Alex, where do they find you guys?
Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks for listening, everyone. Jen Konikoff. You can find me on Instagram, Jen underscore Konikoff, and pretty much on any other platform.
Everybody, thanks so much for listening. I'm Alex Mendel. You can find me on Instagram at Alex Mendel Homes.
Not Mandel. That's an imposter.
Mendel, or you're going to be dumb, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. If you got any value out of listening to this today, that means other people will as well. So do a good thing. Increase your goodwill. Share this podcast with others. And who knows? Maybe karma will come back and do something good for you for doing that. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
everyone.
Peace.
Bye.